Welcome back to Anything You Want, the channel that follows the private turns behind the public lights of Turkey's most visible stars. If you like thoughtful, cinematic takes on celebrity news, not gossip for gossip's sake but stories that illuminate relationships, family dynamics, and what fame does to love, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to support us even more, tap the join button. Your comments matter. Tell us which Turkish celebrities you'd like us to profile next and whether you want investigative features, gentle human interest pieces, or behind-the-scenes breakdowns. Recent developments in the lives of Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir have rippled far beyond their inner circle. What began as a reconciliation between two high-profile performers has swiftly taken on the aura of a family affair after a surprise public declaration by Can's mother, Gülden Yaman. Her interview, marked by warmth and unmistakable endorsement, reframed the reunion from a romantic reconciliation into something more solemn and familial. She spoke of joy at their renewed bond and of welcoming Demet into the family fold. Language that many interpreted as a maternal blessing and even as an informal confirmation of deeper intentions. For observers and fans alike, the mother's embrace of Demet transformed a private rapprochement into a narrative with broader emotional stakes. Suddenly the story is not only about two people finding their way back to one another, it is also about the meeting of families, the stabilization of a public relationship, and the possible next steps that may follow when two households begin to imagine shared tomorrows. In a manner that felt both spontaneous and sincere, Gülden conveyed her happiness to reporters with language that went beyond polite approval. She emphasized that Can and Demet had rediscovered one another, that their connection was meaningful, and that she regarded Demet as someone who belonged at the family table. The most arresting element of her remarks was the maternal projection of a future in which Demet is not merely a partner but, in Gülden's words, family. A sentiment few public figures voice so plainly and which carries immediate resonance in a culture that prizes familial bonds. The timing of such a statement also matters. It arrived amid a wave of affectionate social media posts and relaxed vacation imagery shared by the couple. Moments that suggested a calm intimacy and reinforced the sense that this reconciliation was not a momentary truce but the rekindling of a durable partnership. When a parent speaks publicly with such assurance, markets, fans, and the tabloid press all hear it as a signal. The family is unified, and the relationship is, at least for now, on solid ground. Following the public warmth from the Yaman family, the couple's own social channels did the rest of the work in soothing any lingering skepticism. Vacation photos, candid smiles and affectionate captions circulated quickly, each post examined as though it were evidence in a cultural trial of love. For supporters, these images confirmed the return of a beloved couple. For casual observers, they offered a glimpse of privacy made public. The small domestic gestures that once were reserved for friends and family now exist as shareable tokens, ready to be reshared, memed, and archived. Some viewers read these posts as a natural byproduct of modern celebrity, publicity and genuine feeling blurred together. Others saw them as carefully curated steps in a deliberate PR choreography intended to reassure stakeholders, fans, sponsors, and production partners that the relationship was stable enough to support promotional work and brand partnerships. Whatever the interpretation, the couple's social media presence amplified the emotional tenor of Gülden's words, making the Yaman family's welcome feel both intimate and performative. The fan response has been immediate and polarized in characteristic ways. One cohort framed Gülden's remarks as the maternal seal of approval every devoted relationship longs for, rejoicing in the hope that breakups and reconciliations ultimately lead to long-term happiness. Another faction cautioned restraint, reminding the public, and each other, that social reconciliation does not always herald a permanent union and that families can change their tone as circumstances evolve. This split in public sentiment speaks to a broader cultural phenomenon. Audiences are not passive, they are co-authors of celebrity narratives. Fans tweet, edit videos, create threads mapping timelines, and sometimes even lobby brands on behalf of their preferred outcome. That collective investment elevates intimate moments into communal events, which in turn affects how stars and families choose to present themselves. In many societies, and particularly in Turkey, maternal approval holds unique symbolic currency. A mother's blessing can validate a relationship beyond the affective sphere, suggesting social acceptance and continuity. When a mother publicly names a partner as her own, she is not only expressing personal fondness, she is enacting a ritual of incorporation, signaling to extended networks that the relationship has moved into a socially recognized register. Goldham's remarks thus operate at the level of private sentiment and public ritual. They comfort the couple's supporters, they signal to industry allies that the relationship has solidity, and they provide a narratively satisfying frame for a reconciliation that otherwise might remain ambiguous. Speculation about potential next steps is inevitable. Will public approval evolve into an engagement announcement? Will the couple choose to formalize their union privately, or will they favor a public celebration when the time is right? There are pragmatic considerations, career calendars, contractual obligations, and personal readiness that will shape any decision. But the current alignment of personal reconciliation and family acceptance sets a favorable stage for deeper commitment, should both parties wish to pursue it. Yet it is worth remembering that celebrity relationships, while subject to intense scrutiny, also evolve like any other, slowly, often messily, and sometimes in ways the public cannot foresee. The best gauge of longevity will be consistency, repeated demonstrations of care, mutual support during professional pressures, and the integration of private life into a public one without losing the core intimacy that made the relationship meaningful to begin with. Now it's your turn. Do you think Goldham's public embrace will strengthen Can and Demet's relationship for the long haul, or is it simply a buoyant moment that public life will complicate? Which Turkish celebrities should Anything You Want cover next with the same depth and sensitivity? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every message. If you value this kind of reporting, press like, subscribe to Anything You Want, and don't forget to hit join if you'd like to support our channel and gain access to member-only features. Your engagement helps us keep producing thoughtful pieces like this one. What this episode ultimately spotlights is the complex choreography required when intimate life meets the machinery of fame. Families negotiate their own roles within that choreography, fans participate imaginatively, and industries assess risk and reward. Goldham's heartfelt words are a reminder that behind every headline are real people with real stakes, parents, partners, and friends, whose emotional investments must be honored even as their lives become public narratives. Thank you for watching this full examination of the Can Yaman, Demet Özdemir reconciliation and the maternal endorsement that turned a private reunion into a public moment. If you appreciated the depth of this coverage, please subscribe to Anything You Want, smash the like button, and, if you'd like to help us continue producing careful, humane reporting, click join to become a member. Tell us below, would you celebrate a public mother's blessing in your own family? Which Turkish celebrity couple should we follow next? We'll be watching developments closely and will bring you updates with the same balance of curiosity and respect. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep the conversation going.